There's a lot of resources out there, guys, and you guys have more now with, this digital age and all the videos online than we ever had. I think when we got started back then, we had like AOL dial-up. The internet had just been invented. I feel so old. Anyway, there is a lot of resources out there for you guys. If you want to do something, dive into it. Be passionate about it. Figure it out. Ask questions. Another thing that, some tips and tricks along the way, we would do all of the work ourselves on these properties. My then husband was really knowledgeable about handyman stuff, great knowledge from plumbing to electrical to, all kinds of stuff. And he taught me a lot. And I had a good head for numbers, could research things. So we worked really well together. But we would do the majority of the fixing ourselves. If we needed carpet installed, we would go to that carpet shop in town, and they had installers that would come in and do it just because they had the special tools. And, we could have probably figured it out, but it was one thing that we didn't mind, paying a professional to do. And I think the other thing that we would pay out for would be if a yard was in need of reseeding. We would hire somebody to come and, we'd get out there and do the raking and tilling and all that and get it prepped. And then they would come out there with their big blower machine and reseed the yard. I think that's about the only thing that we really ever hired out. And then we got to know the prices around town. We had Home Depot, Lowe's, but we had a place called Builder's Bargains, Cash's Carpet, and I would spend time going around town and shopping prices on trim, doors, windows, tile, cabinets, whatever it might be, so that I was really knowledgeable about where to get the best deal on what. And then I also had those numbers in my head so that when we would go into a potential investment property, I could kind of get a general idea of what that place was going to cost us just by looking and walking it. But then we would go home and we would sit down with our list of everything that we knew that needed to be done. And we had those numbers of what a lot of stuff cost in our local area. And we could sit there and line item everything out to get a cost budget. And then here's an important tip. And we kind of learned this the hard way. It wasn't devastating, but we learned it as we went. There's always those unforeseen things. I don't care if it's a box of screws or you had a little toilet leak and thought you were going to just have to replace the vinyl, and you got in there and the subfloor was toast. So there's always these unforeseen things. So we started adding 15 to 20% unforeseen to our budget, so that we had a cushion just in case we ran into something like that. We actually did really, really well. Learned a lot along the way. We only had one property that set us back some because I think the septic was bad. It was, for some reason, either the test didn't come out properly, or maybe we didn't pay for a well and septic test and it cost us. But we did that ourselves too. We went and rented a backhoe and had the well and septic guy come out and tell us exactly, gave us diagrams of how it needed to be set up with the river rock and the pipes and I've got pictures of me out there with a ramp with a wheelbarrow. But we had so much fun doing this, and we would take the kids along with us, and they learned a lot. Another thing you can do is contact an appraiser, somebody in your area, and just ask them, what are some of the biggest bangs for my buck that I can do to a home? So if I put $30,000 into this kitchen, how much value is it going to add to this property? Whereas if I put maybe $1,000 into paint, how much is that going to add to the value of the property? They're a great resource because they go out and do comparisons and price these things all day, every day. They say that curb appeal doesn't add value. It does. Market value is what somebody would reasonably pay for that property at that date and time. If somebody drives by a house and there's no curb appeal and it's, the yard's messed up and there's garbage out front, they're going to keep driving. So curb appeal does add value, and it also helps get people inside. So think of little things, maybe a flower basket or two, plant some fresh flowers in that little garden thing, put those little sidewalk lights. I also, along the way, learned that as a buyer, at least then, we didn't have to pay our real estate agent. So we got in touch with an agent and said, this is what we're doing. We're investing in real estate, and we're going to be buying more than just one property. We want an agent that, will work hard for us, make us a priority, find us those deals, and will buy the properties through you. But we want to be able to sell them ourselves. We don't want to have to pay that, 6% concession to a realtor to sell it. But it was a really good deal for them because they were getting continuing business, and they helped me to figure out them and the lady at the title company. I was able to get a real estate contract on my computer, a template that was legal and, for the state, had all the, the disclosures and everything else, to where when I marketed the property and found a buyer, and they could bring their realtor, but I knew how to do the paperwork and market and sell those properties ourselves. So anywhere that we could pick up and do the work ourselves to save some money, we did it. I'm not saying that all of you have to do that. Before going into an investment property, you need to really do some research about the cost of things in the area, what houses sell for in those areas, and just research really well. And then you want to know, what things you're able to do, what things you're not. You're going to have to hire out. Well, what are their costs? There's a lot of math and preparation that goes into the beginning of these to protect yourselves. But it can be a lot of fun, and it can be a journey, and it can be an amazing way to make money for you and your family. Anyway, guys, that's my story. And if you ever have any questions, my Linktree link is in the bio. My email address is there. And I have no problem. I'm one of those people that actually likes to share my knowledge and teach and watch people, go through their journeys. So it doesn't bother me at all. I appreciate you guys watching. So if you guys don't mind, hit that follow button so that you don't miss anything. And it also helps my channel reach more people. Also share it with anybody that you think might, find this information useful. Like it if you like it. And feel free to reach out to me or drop comments. I love the interactions. And also, I'll let you know that the next investor video would be Monday, and we're going to be going into bridge loans. Now, I also have in the works a recorded interview with a DSCR specialist that's been doing this for umpteen years and has closed thousands of DSCR loans. And we're going to do a recorded kind of interview. So if you guys have any questions you want me to ask him, please shoot those over to me and we'll get those into that video. And that should come out next week sometime. I also have that surprise that I had kind of hinted about that's coming up next week also. So stay tuned, guys.